Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Center with Loro and Matt. And Matt, how are you doing today on this fine Thursday here?
Doing well, Loro. How are you?
Doing great. But we had breaking news to talk about first. Is that the Chiefs just signed Marcus Valdez-Scantling to play from. He's switching from Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes, basically.
Oh, what do you think of that?
I felt like that Rodgers likes Valdez-Scantling, but it's a business. I mean, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to find another favorite target to throw to now. So some new things will have to be talked about in Green Bay now that Devontae Adams is gone and all that.
Do they sign DK Metcalf, you think?
I don't think they trade for DK Metcalf. I'm not sure about that whole situation, though.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, now let's talk about the big news this week in the NFL as Matt Ryan has now found a new home as the Colts quarterback carousel has finally come to an end with this trade pickup as Matt Ryan now goes to the Indianapolis Colts for a second and a third round pick as the Falcons will receive in return. Matt, what was your reaction to it? And how does it even shape up the AFC South now?
Yeah, well, I think the Colts are contenders. They might even be favorites to win over Tennessee. I think that landing Matty Ice is good for the Colts. My friend Kevin is a big Colts fan. He's not enthusiastic about it, but I think Matt Ryan he's a class act. He is a good quarterback with a couple more years left, and he's a big step up over whatever other option they were going to have to use. So, yeah, I think this helps the Colts.
It does in a way, like when we talked about how the Colts were so deep in all they have a really deep roster, such as like a good group of receivers, great offensive line, great defense. So at first I was like, does the hire of Doug Peterson help the Jags win the division? I'm like, that does, but with the Colts getting Matt Ryan, now I have to think that the Colts are going to win the AFC South because of this pickup.
Uh-huh.
So that's what kind of my reaction is to that. But I kind of think that Matt Ryan to the Colts makes the Colts a division winner in this very wide open AFC South. Tennessee, I still think they're going to be a really good team. I think Jacksonville, I think the Jags, they're going to be good. I think they're going to be better than they were last year, but I still think that the Jags still need a little bit more time. I thought that I kind of jumped the gun up on them a bit with Doug Peterson as the coach, but I realize now that the Jags still need a bit more time. But I do think that Trevor Lawrence is going to play a lot better than he did last year in his rookie year.
Do you think the Jags have any chance of being this year's Cincinnati Bengals, a team that went from the basement to Super Bowl contenders overnight?
That could happen, but I think that the Jags, to me, are ahead of the Texans in a way. Like, I mean, now that the Jags have invested on receiver and offensive line, this could really help them beat the Texans twice now.
Yeah.
Now that Doug Peterson's the head coach,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Texans are probably not going to be winning any divisional games.
Yeah.
Because I think Houston's is most likely going to be the worst team in the league this year. So I think basically the AFC South will be the Titans, the Colts, and the Jags being the three best in the AFC South, with Houston in last. But I do think that Davis Mills is going to be their guy going forward, though.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So what's your reaction to Marcus Mariota joining the Falcons? And what do you think what's next for the Falcons at quarterback now?
Yeah, well, Mariota's a stopgap for them. They need somebody at that position. And Mariota, I mean, he has injury issues. I think he's a smart player. So I think he's one of those players that he won't lose them games. I don't think he will win them games. And Atlanta is still rebuilding. So I think they might try to draft a quarterback in this year's draft.
They should. And the reason why I say that, because I have the Falcons in my mock draft, which will reveal our whole mock draft next month. I have them targeting Matt Corral at 8 instead of Malik Willis, because I have Malik Willis going to the Seattle Seahawks at 9.
Okay.
And Matt Corral, you have him with you have Matt Corral with Kyle Pitts. That would be a good quarterback to tight end combo. And you still need a receiver though.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my theory here on the Falcons. But if they would have kept Matt Ryan, I would have had them going Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Ryan is now a Colt. And if you break down his receiving options, he's got Jonathan Taylor at running back, and then Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell at receiver. Those are really good options. I do expect T.Y. Hilton to come back to kind of help with that too. And then Mo Alley Cox is also not a bad option for Matt Ryan to throw to a tight end.
Uh-huh.
And do you also see Julio Jones reuniting with Matt Ryan in Indy?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Julio Jones has much left in the tank.
Yeah, but now we'll talk about from one division to another. So talk about the Cleveland Browns. So Deshaun Watson's now a Cleveland Brown, and I don't know if you gave your thoughts on what your thoughts on Deshaun Watson is. What your thoughts on Deshaun Watson being a Cleveland Brown?
Yeah. So first, you have to say, he has 22 civil counts still against him. And apparently I just saw today that there's a second grand jury that is mulling over a charge against him still. So there's still legal issues with that, and we'll see if he's suspended at all for part of next season. If the legal issues aren't there anymore, he's a better option than Baker Mayfield, I think. Baker, though, things have not ended well with him in Cleveland, and I don't know where he's going to end up.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to end up too. I mean, what's next for Baker? I'm not sure. I think the Browns are going to be forced to cut him because I think that Deshaun Watson makes the Browns a contender in the AFC, but I think that the Browns somehow will challenge the Bengals in the AFC North, but I still think Cincinnati's going to win that division again.
Yeah.
And Baltimore, I'm not sleeping on them. Pittsburgh could make things interesting, but I'm not sure if they are content with Mitch Trubisky.
Right, yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins now. So, the Dolphins got Teron Armstead to play left tackle, move Liam Eichenberg to right tackle. And what's your thoughts on Tyreek Hill being traded to the Miami Dolphins? And how does it even shape the AFC East?
Well, I think, one of the losers in that trade is the New England Patriots. The division becomes it's not just the Buffalo they have to get ahead, but it's now Miami. I think Miami is the second best team in that division. So I think that Miami they have a lot of weapons on offense now. It's up to Tua to get that team some wins, to carry them over the finish line. If he can't do it, his days as a starter are probably over.
I don't think it is.
Could be the third year could be the charm for him.
Yeah, I think the third year is the charm for Tua. I don't see any excuses why not, because he has Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki. He's got Devontae Parker, but I think Parker's probably on the bubble based on what I read this morning, that Devontae Parker might be on the move.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much of a room for him on there on that roster right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that Devontae Parker's going to get traded. I think that you're going to see Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson be 1-2, and then Jalen Waddle in the slot. I think that's going to be good for Tua. I think Devontae Parker will probably be traded to maybe Green Bay, or maybe I could see him going to maybe the Jets. I could see him going to the Jets for Denzel Mims, and then you can plug him in right away.
Yeah, I think some team will make a trade for him.
What about Teron Armstead to the Dolphins, though?
Well, that'll be good. That's good too. They've really revamped that roster, I think. Yeah, and they still have some picks, like especially next year, not this year, but next year they still have a first rounder. So Dolphins are in a pretty good position.
They are. And I think that the Dolphins, and you said that it's bad news for the Patriots. You think Patriots will still be good next year, but you think that Miami's going to just be a step ahead of them now.
Yeah.
And you obviously know the Bills are the best team in the AFC East, and they're now the team to beat in my division now, which it's hard for me to admit.
Yeah.
But I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is going to be a great quarterback for the Patriots, but it's the Bills division still, and Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. Josh Allen's still doing Josh Allen type things.
Yep.
So what do you think about Leonard Fournette staying in Tampa Bay?
Well, yeah, he must like, Brady coming back, and, Brady's presence there is probably going to keep a lot of guys in Tampa and maybe even attract a free agent or two.
And I think that Leonard Fournette loved it in Tampa for some reason,
Yeah, he's an SEC guy. I don't know where he's originally from, but he played at LSU, and Florida's a nice enough place, and he has a good team around him, and I think he'll do well there.
Yeah, I think he'll do well there. And then Zadarius Smith is signing with the Minnesota Vikings. So you still get to see him, even though I thought that he would be a Baltimore Raven. He would sack Jared Goff, but you still get to see Darius Smith in the NFC North.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts on that?
Good addition. I like it.
So basically, if you talk about the AFC West, now we got to talk about your division now that Tyreek Hill's not a Chief anymore. How do you feel as a Charger fan not having to cover him twice a year now?
Yeah, that's probably good news for all those teams in the AFC West to see him gone. But the Chargers do play the Dolphins. They host the Dolphins this year, so they'll see him once at SoFi. But I think all of the AFC West teams are probably happy to see him go. But the Chiefs still have they have some picks, and they could still make a deal for maybe someone like DK Metcalf. So, the Chiefs aren't done. I think they're going to make a move here.
Yeah, you still think that the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC West despite losing Tyreek Hill?
I probably. Well, no, I
it's
don't know.
Because of Mahomes.
The more I think Denver is probably the favorite, but that is a tough division. I don't know. Like Denver, it's a first-year coach.
For me, the reason why I still have Kansas City winning the division, it's because of Mahomes, who could still have his magic. You don't want to underestimate him. You have him and Kelsey keeping the team together. And I also like Mecole Hardman, who I also think could be a good replacement for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I think the AFC West that's going to be a tough division to figure out.
It is. It's going to be really hard. Yeah. But why do you even favor Denver? Because I mean, Russell Wilson. I would favor Denver because of Russell Wilson, but not Nathaniel Hackett, because he's a rookie head coach, and I think that rookie head coaches need time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. Is you have Nathaniel Hackett's a rookie head coach. Josh McDaniels it's his first year with the Raiders. We don't know if he can be a head coach there or at all, because he failed in Denver previously.
He failed in Denver because
we don't know if Staley, can be like a head coach. Like, it's only his second year, and then you're left with what? Andy Reid, the only guy we know he can be a head coach. So I wouldn't underestimate Andy Reid in that division.
Yeah, I mean, talk about your Chargers here. I mean, your Chargers have been amazing this offseason, and I know you're so excited to see most of them play in person when you return to SoFi Stadium for those Bolts games. So what's next for the Bolts? I mean, I think that what's next for them is, now that they got what they needed to get on defensively, I think that they're going to address the draft with a receiver and a right tackle, because I love Rashawn Slater on the left side. I think that getting a right tackle would really solidify that offensive line for Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I think that those are the two areas they could do it. They could maybe go for a second running back again if something falls their way. Someone behind Austin Eckler, and they could maybe go for maybe someone on special teams, a big playmaker on special teams, maybe a good returner or someone that can be a returner. So they have different options. Personally, I think I would like them to try to address the right tackle situation. And man, if they were to somehow find a guy like Rashawn Slater for right tackle, oh wow, that'd be great.
Are you high on the Chargers potentially drafting Drake London out of USC at 18? Because I think that you pair him with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, that would be a dangerous wide receiver group for the Chargers.
Oh yeah. The thing too is these wide receivers, they come ready to play in the NFL. That's just the nature of college ball now and the nature of the rules in the NFL. So yeah, I think, if he falls to the Chargers somehow, that'd be great.
Because he's from here. He's from here. He played at USC, and Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert played in the Pac-12, and I think he would like another Pac-12 player to join him.
Yeah, I mean, if he falls to the Chargers, Chargers picking 17th, I think.
Yeah, they pick 18th in the draft because they missed the play. But you think that the Chargers can be a playoff team with this group of guys that they have defensively now, complimenting Joey Bosa and also adding J.C. Jackson. Do you think that this is the year that they finally break through to the playoffs in this tough AFC?
Yeah,
I mean, as a wild card team, but not as a division winner.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in. Whether it's a wild card or the division winner, we'll see. But I think with the money they've been spending, they got to get into the playoffs. So the pressure is on.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Justin Herbert's their guy. I think he's done a really good job with them. But from one LA team to another, the Rams could be reloading here with this potential offseason move here. Bobby Wagner could be a member of the Rams and could be staying in the NFC West. What are your thoughts of potentially seeing Bobby Wagner stay in the NFC West?
I think he wants to play against Seattle twice a year and beat the snot out of them every time. He is not happy with how he got let go. So, yeah, I think he makes sense. Yeah, I think it makes sense for him to come to the LA Rams.
I love the addition of Allen Robinson, though. I mean, I wish that Robert Woods didn't get traded. But Allen Robinson's a good deep threat for what Matthew Stafford brings. I think he's going to work well with Stafford. But Cooper Kupp, I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to have another MVP-type season heading into next season.
Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on I don't know what's your thoughts on Von Miller going to the Bills here?
Yeah. So on the one hand, the Bills are in win now mode, and they're willing to overpay for someone like Von Miller, he's twice won a Super Bowl. He has a lot of leadership style that they like. They're not going to ask him to do too much on defense. So I think it fits the Bills. They overpaid for him. I mean, was it 4 years, $120 million? Yeah. So, but the Bills are in win now mode. So they can afford him because they're not paying Josh Allen anything right now. So, I think, the Bills, they won a Super Bowl. And they're probably thinking last year we were 13 seconds away from getting to the Super Bowl.
And they needed somebody to get them over the hump, which I think now with Von Miller there, it puts the Bills not only winning the division again, I think they're probably going to be the number one seed in the AFC again.
Yeah.
And I think that the road to the AFC is going to run through Buffalo heading into next season for the Super Bowl. And I think that the Bills, I don't think anybody's going to want to play in Buffalo in the frigid cold come playoff time.
Right.
So that's kind of my thinking there. I still think they're the better team in the division, despite what the Dolphins did when it comes to their offseason moves.
Uh-huh.
But also speaking of the Patriots, what is your thoughts on the Patriots bringing back Malcolm Butler, a Super Bowl hero in Super Bowl 49, to play for Bill Belichick again?
Yeah, well, yeah, they know that they need to stop those offenses in Buffalo and now Miami. So,
but my question is Malcolm Butler fast enough to cover Tyreek Hill or cover Stephon Diggs?
Yeah, I don't think anyone is fast enough to cover Tyreek Hill, and probably not Stephon Diggs, but at least it gives you another weapon that you can scheme with. And try to shut them down. I mean,
Butler's a bit older, but would I put him on Tyreek Hill? I would try, but that's going to be hard to cover because Miami's offense, if you're going to have to not leave Tyreek Hill wide open.
Yeah.
You're going to have to double team him to beat the Dolphins, but the way that this Dolphins offense is designed, it's going to be a dangerous and scary offense. I'm kind of worried about how fast that offense is going to be for my Pats defense, though, when I have to face the Dolphins twice a year.
Yeah.
And the Bills, I think that the Patriots will have no problems against the Jets, but I think they're going to have problems with the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thinking there. But what's next for your Lions now in the offseason? I mean, you haven't been that active though, despite getting DJ Chark.
Yeah, they haven't, and I think they're going to try to build through the draft. I don't know what they want to do right now, so they could a little while ago. We were thinking they'd build through defense first.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, I think, will be a Lion.
Yeah, if he's not a Jag, then he'll be a Lion probably. So they want to build on defense first, I think. But yeah, they've been slow this offseason, but that's okay because there's just he has another year for sure to like continue to establish the culture, get some strength, I think, on defense, and then once you use Goff for another year, and maybe this year you draft a quarterback, or maybe you wait till next year. I think there's a lot of questions though, that a lot of different directions they can go in. But they're not going to bring in. I don't think they're going to bring in veterans.
They might even wait till next year's draft, because next year's draft is going to be a stacked group of quarterbacks such as C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. They should. If I were Brad Holmes, I would wait until next year's draft.
Yeah, I would too. And I think if Rodgers had left the division, the Lions, the Bears, even the Vikings too, they might have had a different offseason. I still think I think the Vikings, they could win that division this year.
You think?
But I think the Bears and the Lions are we're just too far behind.
I think it's still Green Bay's division because of Aaron Rodgers. I think that the Packers still have Randall Cobb. They still have Amari Rodgers, who I think they can develop into a number one receiver. I still think that as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, the Packers are still going to be good, but they still have a salary cap issue right now.
I would not underestimate the Vikings this year though in that division. I think they're I think it'd be interesting to wager that they might win it this year.
I'm not sure about that because of Kirk Cousins, but we'll see. But what is your reaction to Jameis Winston staying with the Saints on a 2-year deal? Last year, he was having a season that he could have been comeback player of the year, but that torn ACL slowed him down. I still think he could be good, but I'm like, Jameis Winston's now is but a stopgap guy.
Yeah, he is. And, and New Orleans is in a transition phase. I think he's a guy that knows the system. If he stays healthy, he'll be like a person who doesn't win you games, but he won't lose you games probably. But yeah, I think too, the quarterback market dried up very quickly. So I think that them sticking with Jameis Winston, it's a safe move.
Yeah, but when it comes to the Panthers, do you think Baker Mayfield will be a Panther, or do you think that Baker Mayfield will be with a different team, or you think that he's going to get cut and he's going to sign somewhere to compete for a starting job somewhere?
Well, I don't think he's going to Carolina. I think that both Carolina and Baker's people have said they have no interest in each other.
Well, here's the thing: now that the Panthers missed out on Deshaun Watson, they got to nail this draft, and I'm optimistic that they're going to draft Kenny Pickett.
They could, if the Steelers said that if the Browns cut Baker Mayfield, that they're going to sign Baker.
That would be good. That means the Steelers don't have to get a quarterback, though. I mean, Baker Mayfield could get back at the Browns, though.
Yeah, they already have Mitchell Trubisky, so I don't know why. I mean, if they get Baker for cheap, there's another option for him. Maybe he'll sign with them, and he'll want to play revenge on.
He would want to play revenge on the Browns, though, because I don't trust Mason Rudolph. I don't trust Dwayne Haskins. Baker.
They'll cut one or two of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I would move on from Mason Rudolph if I'm the Steelers.
Yeah, if you have Mitchell Trubisky, he should Mitchell Trubisky should be your starting guy. I wouldn't be interested in Baker.
I don't know if he should be, but if they get Baker Mayfield, I want to see Baker Mayfield still get a starting job.
Yeah.
But I do think that if he's a Steeler, I mean, he's going to be behind a good run game by the Steelers. I think that they got to fix their offensive line, and you got to give them another receiver there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Baker ends up in Pittsburgh, and I think Jimmy G will still end up in Houston to back up Davis Mills.
Okay.
Because I just don't see Jimmy Garoppolo backing up Trey Lance.
We'll see.
So, anyways, we'll talk more NFL. There's more breaking news here. So let's talk a little bit about baseball here. So we'll talk about some Cactus League games going on in just a minute. The Dodgers game is in progress as they're playing the Rockies right now. What is your initial reaction to Freddie Freeman going to the Dodgers?
Yeah, well, it seemed like it was a long time coming. It was rumored for a while, and yeah, they with losing Seager, Freeman's going to be another good bat in the lineup, and that's the Dodgers. They keep on loading up.
Yeah, when they lose somebody, they reload. I think that's what they do. And as much as I wanted Corey Seager to stay, I think Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers was a big plus. I'm excited that he's home in Southern California where he grew up. And I'm looking forward to seeing him when he gets to play against the Braves twice a year, and especially when he makes his return to Atlanta this year when it comes to the games. And I want to see the Braves country give him a big standing ovation when he makes his return to Atlanta. I don't think he'll get booed there.
Yeah, and the Braves also have Kenley Jansen. He'll get a standing ovation when he comes to Dodger Stadium, probably.
Oh yes. I don't want to see any fans booing him. They always boo him because they think he always costs them the game when it comes to blowing saves.
Yeah.
Now, from one NL West team to another, what's your thoughts on Chris Bryant being a Colorado Rocky? Do you think that makes them keep up with the Dodgers, the Giants, or the Padres, or they're still mediocre?
Mediocre, and that signing is perplexing. They just dumped, was it Trevor Story's contract?
Yeah, they just dumped Nolan Arenado's contract, and the Rockies should be rebuilding by now. But Chris Bryant is now a Rocky just for the money.
Yeah, which that doesn't make sense to me.
He's going to play left field most likely, though.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're worried that no one will come to the games because they have no players that anyone recognizes. But I don't know. I think that was a silly move.
He should have chosen the Seattle Mariners. I mean, you could have moved Jesse Winker to center field. You could have moved Eugenio Suarez to shortstop.
Yeah.
I would have done that if I were him. But I just think that the Rockies, they're probably not. They're going to be an average 80 and 82 type team with Bryant. But that's not enough. Mm-hmm. That's not enough for the Rockies to just only sign Chris Bryant, though.
No, not at all.
I mean,
doormats again.
I mean, the Rockies will be a great hitting team. They're going to be a great offensive team, though. But their pitching is going to be very bad. Mm-hmm. But I just don't see the Rockies keeping up with the Dodgers, keeping up with the Giants or the Padres. The Rockies are just the Rockies.
Yep.
So, anyways, Trevor Story now a Red Sox. How do you feel about him being a Boston Red Sox?
Yeah, I guess when did they make that trade again?
He signed with the Red Sox last Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it helps the Red Sox become more of a contender in a very clogged up AL East. I mean, you have the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Rays, and the Red Sox. So they gotta make those signings if they want to compete there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So
tough division.
Very tough division. You're absolutely right about that. But anyways, you have a former Tiger that's on the Philadelphia Phillies, and also Kyle Schwarber is a Philadelphia Philly too. But I'm going to start with Nick Castellanos since you know him so well in Detroit. How did you feel about him reuniting with Dave Dombrowski?
I think that it's a good move. I think Castellanos is a pretty good player, and he'll be able to bring some pop to their offense.
Especially with Citizens Bank Park being a hitter's park. That ballpark suits Castellanos very well.
Yeah.
And what about Kyle Schwarber? What will he bring to the Philadelphia Phillies? And do you think that with those two moves, do you think that the Phillies are ahead of Miami and Washington for third place?
Yeah. And, they might even be able to push the Mets and the Braves a little bit. So.
Yeah, I mean, these even with the Braves getting Matt Olson, you still think that they're still a good team in the NL East?
Yeah.
Even though that they lost Freddie Freeman, they'll still be good.
Yes.
But it's just going to be hard without him.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on Nelson Cruz to the Nationals?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I guess they don't want to be completely irrelevant. So what do you think of it?
They needed. I mean, having a DH like that, I think that he would provide leadership in the clubhouse. I can't wait to see him and Juan Soto be penciled into either 3 or 4th in the lineup.
Yeah.
Or maybe Soto hitting ahead of Nelson Cruz, because Juan Soto is a great power hitter, and I think that the Nationals are going to build their next winning team around Juan Soto.
Uh-huh.
And what about solar power? He is now taking his talents to South Beach. Isn't he going to be such a great fit for that Miami Marlin lineup?
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, second coming of Giancarlo Stanton. I love hitters like that.
Yeah, he'll be good.
Top power that can hit balls over the yard, over like into the streets for a right-handed bat. That's my style of power hitters.
Uh-huh.
So I think that Jorge Soler makes the Marlins dangerous offensively, but I think that you still need more than Jorge Soler to make a good lineup.
Yeah.
The Marlins are just not there. I just think that the Marlins are going to be probably in last place still. I think that I like Alcantara. I think he's the ace of that staff. I think that the Marlins just need a couple of more pieces.
Yeah.
And what about Andrew Chafin? He is now on your Detroit Tigers. And what is your takeaways on Andrew Chafin being a lefty reliever on your Detroit Tigers?
Yeah, well, I don't know much about him, but lefty relievers, hey, you need him on your team. So I think he'll help the bullpen a little bit, and good acquisition.
Very good acquisition there, but also talk about second-year players on the Tigers. From which sophomore do you think on your Tigers is going to make a huge leap? Is it Casey Mize or Akil Baddoo?
Casey Mize. I think Baddoo will also be really good.
Yeah, Akil Baddoo had a great rookie season last year, and I think that this year he's going to continue to get better and he's going to continue to grow. But I'm also not ruling out Daz Cameron.
Yeah.
And I also and you also think Spencer Torkelson's going to make the bigs this year, but do you think he'll make the opening day roster, or do you think he makes his debut at some point this season?
I think he makes his debut.
Opening day roster or no opening day for him? He needs a little bit more time in AAA to kind of build up his game.
Probably a little more time in AAA, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers, I'll tell you what, they had a pretty good offseason. And you thought that last year they were going to be losing 100 games, but A.J. Hinch turned this Tigers team around for some odd reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you think A.J. Hinch is the right person to lead the Detroit Tigers into the future now that he got dismissed from Houston?
Yes.
And is there going to be optimism in Detroit heading into this season?
Yes, there should be.
What's your thoughts on Carlos Correa not signing with your Tigers, but he's in your division now, but he's a Minnesota Twin, and he's there for the money?
Yeah, just a head scratcher again. I mean, the Twins aren't competing this year, and I mean, he could have done that. I think he could have just stayed in Houston for that, or gone to the Yankees or something like that, or joined the Tigers maybe. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what his thinking was.
Yeah, I don't know what his thinking was either. The Twins are going nowhere. And what's your thoughts on Joe Kelly now with the White Sox? So Joe Kelly, Carlos Correa hate each other, but you're probably going to see more hate towards each other.
Yep, they're going to be squaring off a lot of times this year, and they're not going to like each other.
And why did you pick the Tigers to win the AL Central over the Chicago White Sox? Is it because based on what the White Sox bullpen is very deep? The Tigers are just starting again. They're starting to get back to winning. Yep.
I think they're just going to be able to push themselves harder at the end and get that division.
And is it because of what Javi Baez brings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Javi Baez, I'll tell you what, he is going to be a great addition to this team. And I'm very excited to see him be a part of the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
So So you think that this is going to be a great year for the Tigers, though?
I think so.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
I mean, they actually play the White Sox in their on opening day. You think you might sweep them or no?
That'd be close. Maybe we could sweep them.
Yeah, but you played Chicago and Boston, and then the Royals after. So, anyways, a little bit of basketball talk now. So the Lakers lost again to the Philadelphia 76ers. Like I told you, if they continue to keep losing games like that, they're not going to make the play-in tournament for some odd reason.
Yeah, what is their record?
Yeah, the Lakers are 30. They are 31-42.
Oh, ugly.
They did win. They did win in Toronto, but they're still.
They won in Cleveland too.
Yeah, but I'm like, is that a start of a win streak for the Lakers? And I'm like, not really.
No, they are. Yeah, they're only a half game ahead of New Orleans, and 2 games ahead of San Antonio. I hope it's not San Antonio. I'd rather see the Lakers than San Antonio. But yeah, that's great, and they're way off from the Clippers now.
Oh my gosh,
4.5 games back.
San Antonio's peaking at the right time, and I'm kind of thinking that the Lakers might be falling off here because I think that the Lakers could be 11th by the time the season ends.
Yeah, it'd be a very disappointing season. How many games are left for them? They have 9 games, right?
Yeah, they don't play again until Sunday against the Pelicans, and they better beat the Pelicans, though.
Yeah, that's tough times. Tough times.
What needs to change for the Lakers if they want to compete next year?
New coach.
Why a new coach? Why not keep Frank Vogel?
I just think that Vogel, I say Vogel's a good coach, and he won a championship with the Lakers. He's a part of Laker history. But he's he's clearly, and he's had AD's been injured. They've had to be careful with LeBron, but ultimately he's complicit with the roster, and they went old. I'm sure GM LeBron had a big thing to do with it, but you can't get rid of LeBron, right?
GM LeBron.
Yeah. And Pelinka, I don't think they're going to get rid of Pelinka. But someone has to be the fall guy. It's going to be Vogel unless there's a big shock, But they need to bring in somebody that can they need a fresh voice, and they need someone who maybe can provide a different perspective for the Lakers at this point. And I think that person should be Quinn Snyder of the Utah Jazz.
Why would it be Quinn Snyder? I don't know if the Utah wants to part with him.
Yeah, they might not, especially to the Lakers, But Snyder, he's a basketball savant. He's been a success. I think he would be up for the challenge, and I think he has the personality for it too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember Quinn Snyder as a Laker assistant. If Frank Vogel gets fired, Quinn Snyder would be my first choice to be the Lakers head coach, because Quinn Snyder is like what you said. He knows basketball. He knows his stuff about basketball. He's a defense. He's also a genius on the defensive side of the ball, and he would make the Lakers even better defensively.
Yeah.
Frank Vogel is that too, but what happened to that defensive mastermind that Frank Vogel was?
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. If you're known for defense and your defense stinks, they're going to make a trade, or they're going to get rid of you. So
the question is, who's more likely going to get fired at the end of the season, Frank Vogel or Tom Thibodeau?
Tom Thibodeau.
Why do you think Tom Thibodeau is going to get fired from the Knicks?
Well, that's a good. I don't. Maybe he's not more likely. I think the Lakers are pretty much done with Vogel, but I don't know
if they are. I don't know what they're thinking with him. They would still want to keep him next season, which I would want to give him another chance. But
Thibodeau?
No, I'm talking about Lakers keeping Frank Vogel.
Oh, yeah. I think they need a different personality, but I think that Thibodeau. Actually, I would say Thibodeau is probably slightly more likely to get fired because they're not even in the play-in game. They're not going to make it.
They're way
game,
off.
So
the Knicks are so bad.
Yeah, they regressed big time. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either, too. But speaking of teams that have been eliminated, talk about your Detroit Pistons, eliminated from playoff contention, and you said that Dwayne Casey is not going to get fired.
No. They have a young team. They are going to, and they are moving the right direction. And they're not. He's a good coach. He's a good leader. You keep him around, and you let this team kind of take shape under him. And also the owner, Tom Gores, he's a hands-off owner. He's not going to like preemptively fire someone. The players like him. I think Casey is a good mentor of young guys too. So I just think he is. I think you definitely keep him. They beat the Hawks the other day.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Surprisingly, everybody's going to beat the Detroit. Everybody is going to beat the Detroit Pistons, but you think that the way the Pistons are playing right now, you know that even though they're 20-53, they're eliminated from playoff contention. Basically, the Pistons are going to do is they're going to be spoiling a lot of playoff teams for positions.
Yep.
Is there a chance that you could spoil, like, for example, spoil the Celtics from being a 3 seed?
Yeah, they beat the Celtics, I think, recently, right? Or am I thinking of a different team?
Yeah, but
they lost to the Celtics. No, they beat them. Yeah, it was a while ago though, but they beat them by 1 point.
Yeah, the Celtics have been on fire lately. But if you talk about the Sixers win over the Lakers, do you think that LeBron, James Harden, and Joel Embiid are the second coming of Kobe and Shaq?
Who in Joel Embiid? James
Harden and Joel Embiid.
Oh yeah. That's the East is going to be wild. Philly is. You don't sleep on them. The East is going to be exciting playoff tournament. You got the Heat, who are kind of struggling right now. You have the Sixers, the Bucks, the Celtics, and then you have the Nets rising from the ashes. That's going to be a tough.
Now that Kyrie Irving can be playing home games now, that's going to help.
Yep.
But is it going to help? Is it going to be enough for the Nets to contend with the roster that they have? They need Ben Simmons back, though.
Yeah.
So, and then the Cavs are this year's Cinderella story.
Yeah, they're fading, though.
Just a bit. But I think they make the playoffs somehow.
The Bulls are really fading.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what you get if you get a hot start like that. But I also think Minnesota's for real.
Yeah.
They have become for real. I think that the Timberwolves used to be really bad, but I think that I love that young roster that they have built together.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the Lakers don't play until Sunday here, and then the Sixers tonight take on the Clippers. So, you think the Sixers get another win in Doc River? The Sixers win and Doc Rivers return to Clipperland?
Yeah, I think they do.
I mean, I like the Sixers roster though, but what about the Heat? Are you still high on the Miami Heat heading into the playoffs?
No. I mean, things boiled over the other day on the bench. That's not what you want at this time of year.
Yeah, what boiled in the bench for the Miami Heat?
It was a fight between Udonis Haslem and Jimmy Butler.
Oh, man, you don't want that during the season.
No. Yeah, it was during a timeout, and then Eric Spoelstra got pissed off, and he threw his clipboard on the ground. It was just ugly.
Oh, my gosh. That doesn't need to happen, though. I think Miami can – but do you think Miami can return to the finals?
They can, but I don't think it's likely right now.
Now, that being said, tonight the Phoenix Suns are getting back Chris Paul. So Chris Paul missed a while from a hand injury, but what is your thoughts on Chris Paul coming back now? And I'll tell you what, a fully healthy Chris Paul for a full season really helps the Phoenix Suns go on to bigger things.
Yeah, I think he's going to come back, and the Suns are going to be pretty darn good. I think they're the team to beat.
Who do you think right now? Who's your early favorite to win the NBA championship?
The Suns.
I mean, who do you have them? And if you have to choose an early finals matchup, who do you think will it be? Will it be Suns Bucks again, Suns Heat, or Bucks and Grizzlies?
I think it'll be Suns Sixers.
Suns and Sixers, and who would, and then would it be six? I would choose Sixers and 7. Because I love James Harden. James Harden's my guy, but my mind would be torn if who I'd go for if it's Suns and Sixers, because I love James Harden, one of my favorite players in the league. Chris Paul, who I've liked a long time, and I want to see win a ring badly.
Yeah.
But I do want to see Chris Paul win a ring.
Yeah.
And I also think it would be good for Devin Booker, too. I think that the Suns, they've come from being a laughingstock to being one of the league's best.
Yeah.
So, anyways, with that being said here, let's talk some March Madness here. So, kind of a recap of the first and second round here. I want to talk about Duke and Michigan State. That was one heck of a basketball game, but Krzyzewski had the edge over Tom Izzo. But here's the thing about Tom Izzo. I would love to see Tom Izzo eventually win another national title with Michigan State. I think Michigan State is going to be good for a long time, as long as he's the head coach. But I think Duke is making one final run for Coach K.
Yeah, I think they still don't look good to me. But at this point, you have 16 teams left, and anyone can win it.
Yes, it is still a wide open. Why don't you not have Duke winning it? Is it because of they still don't look good, or do you think Duke is doing it for Coach K?
I think there's too much pressure on them, and I think they don't look good in some parts of their game. But yeah, I think that they'll be. I think they might have a tough task in their next game.
Well, let's tell you today's matchups for the Sweet 16 here. So, which Cinderella team stood out to you so far? Is it St. Peter's that beat Kentucky? Nobody thought that St. Peter's would beat Kentucky. My bracket right now was messed up because of that.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then they beat Murray State after that.
Jeez.
Now they play Purdue.
So so questions heading into this weekend is, does St. Peter's Cinderella run continue?
No, I think Purdue beats them.
I want it to continue at least until the Elite Eight, honestly. Just because
Purdue. My dad graduated from Purdue.
Was that?
My dad graduated from Purdue.
And you think Purdue would play UCLA? Yeah. So anyways, for today's games, Arkansas is playing Gonzaga. I actually have Gonzaga beating them by a lot. It's probably gonna be a blowout win for Gonzaga.
Uh-huh.
So what do you think?
I have Gonzaga winning as well.
Is it gonna be close, or is it gonna be a blowout?
I think it'll be close, but they'll win by 5-6 points.
I did not even have. I had Michigan playing Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16. I did not have Villanova going far this year, but I'm actually going to go with Villanova. Jay Wright, this team going to the Elite Eight.
Yep, me too.
And Duke and Texas Tech. I actually have Duke winning and beating Texas Tech, and I have Gonzaga and Duke playing in the Elite Eight.
I'm going with Texas Tech.
And who do you have them? Who do you have Texas Tech playing in the Elite Eight?
They would play Gonzaga. I forget who the.
Gonzaga. That's
okay, I have Gonzaga, Texas Tech. Yeah,
that's the West. I'm talking about the West. That's the West region.
Yeah, and then I have Arizona playing Villanova.
In the East region.
Yeah.
In the it's the South region for the Elite Eight. Arizona and Villanova for the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
And then in the East region, my Elite Eight would be UCLA and St. Pete.
I'm going with UCLA and Purdue.
And you have UCLA going to the Final Four again?
Yep.
Yeah, I think UCLA is going to be really good. I think UCLA is tough. In my Southwest Midwest bracket, I have Kansas going to the Elite Eight, but I originally had them playing Auburn, but that is long gone.
Yeah, I I want to have Providence winning that one.
Yeah, Providence going to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
What about the Final Four? Who's going to the Final Four? So my Final Four picks are. I still have Duke going in there, but who do they play? That's gonna be hard because I had UCLA playing. I have UCLA playing St. Pete. I have Duke and UCLA in the Final Four.
Okay.
And Kansas, I have them playing Villanova. Now that my pick for Loyola Chicago is long gone.
Uh-huh.
So basically my Final Four picks now are Duke, UCLA, Kansas, and Villanova.
All right.
What about your Final Four picks?
I have Gonzaga, Arizona, UCLA, and I had Iowa.
You mean Iowa State?
Yeah, so I will let's see whose team I need to root for over there.
Yeah, my whole bracket is so messed up now. My
Midwest side is really messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, my South bracket is messed up, and my East region bracket got messed up big time.
I'll go with Miami
for the Final Four.
Yep.
My East bracket got busted big time. Basically, my bracket got busted last year, and basically, my national title game pick was wrong.
Yeah,
I had Georgetown and Loyola Chicago going there, but that did not happen. It was Baylor and Gonzaga last year, and then Baylor won the crown, and obviously Baylor's gone, and Baylor just got eliminated from North Carolina. I honestly don't like North Carolina and the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect Hubert Davis for what he's done. I mean, he's done a good job since taking over for Roy Williams.
Yeah.
So anyways, now that being said, talk a little hockey here. So the Detroit Red Wings, they're still pretty much in the thick of things for the playoffs.
They've had some big wins recently, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then tonight, the LA Kings, they are taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. That game's going to be on Hulu TV. So what is your thoughts on, do you think that the Kings are playoff bound, though? I mean, I think they are, but I'm hearing that Drew Doughty might not even play down the stretch.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, the Kings look pretty good.
And what about, and you said the Red Wings had some huge wins recently.
Yeah. They beat Philly the other day 6-3.
And they are playing the New York Islanders tonight.
Oh, yeah, that should be a big one.
Talk about Detroit sports teams for you. Bulk, another question for you is who has the brightest future out of your Detroit teams? Is it the Tigers? Is it the Red Wings? Is it the Pistons or the Lions?
Yeah, I think they all do. And they're all kind of bad right now, except the Tigers, I guess, are the closest to maybe doing something. So I think the Tigers they'll be the best this coming year.
Yeah, anyway, so that being said here, let's go back to a little football. So some top free agents are remaining here. Now, if with Stephon Gilmore still on the free agent market, where do you think he ends up landing with? Does he go back to the Patriots, or does he go to the Raiders to reunite with Josh McDaniels?
Oh, interesting. I don't know. What do you think?
As much as I want him to come back to the Patriots, I think we need to get younger at corner. I'd want to see him with Las Vegas, with the Raiders, and reunite with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler.
Yeah.
And Tyrann Mathieu, where do you think he goes? Not your Lions. I don't think they need any of that.
No, he probably doesn't sign there. But, yeah, I don't know. Where do you think he'll go?
Ooh, I want to see him still be on a winning team, though.
Yeah.
I say go back to Cardinals.
Yeah.
And what about Jadeveon Clowney?
Oh, yeah, where do you think he'll land?
Denver Broncos, opposite of Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
And what about OBJ?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to go somewhere else besides the Rams, though.
What about Calais Campbell?
I don't know. Where do you think?
I would like to see him back in the Cardinals, though.
Okay.
Anyways, Matt, have a great week. I'll see you next week, and we're going to talk about the Final Four next week and preview that and talk about who's going to be going to the national championship game for college basketball and more.
Yeah, I'll be watching those games tonight, some of the basketball games, college basketball.
Have a great day. I'll see you next week.
Yep, see ya.